One thing that is going to make you stand out from the rest of the magicians is doing basic things like spreading cards or shuffling, something that anyone could do but in a more skillful, professional manner. Something that'll make them say, oh wow, you're not just, Uncle Joe with a deck of cards showing you the latest card trick glide at the family barbecue. Now this is important because you want to stand out like that from the very beginning. So we do things like spring the cards or fan the cards when you want to have a card selected in different ways. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. See, even for me, I like to advocate that doing skillful things can lead to the spectators saying, oh, you just have really fast hands. But that's more in the context of the actual routine, the actual trick itself. In the middle of it, if you do something like a quick flourish or something like that, it might not be the best time or place for it, because then they're gonna say, oh, that's how the card got to the top, right? You did something really fast. But in the beginning of the routine or in the middle while you're just hanging out and doing these kind of things, I think it's super important. So with that being said, today we are going to learn one of those things, something that I've been doing ever since I saw it on the first David Blaine special. I became obsessed with it, and that is the curly Q move, credited to Paul Harris. Yo guys, what is going on? Alex Pandrea here. Welcome back to my channel where we teach you sleight of hand, magic, and the theory behind making you a better performer. Now in this video we are going over the curly Q move. It's an easy move sort of to get down, but it's a little bit harder when you want to get it exactly how you want to get it. It's a move that will take some time to actually get smooth, but the actual technique is not that hard. So with that being said, let's get into the video. The curly Q move. I love this move. I've been obsessed with it ever since I saw David Blaine perform it on one of his specials. I believe it was the first or second. There was a B-roll segment in the beginning. He did a bunch of stuff, including like Paul Harris's simple switch. And coincidentally enough, this is also credited to Paul Harris. It's called the curly Q, and it looks something like that. It's a nice way, I guess, to have a spectator pick a card. I never used it really other than just to practice it and, just do it on the offbeat. I first learned the move on The Art of Card Manipulation by Jeff McBride, and this is sort of how it's done. So the first thing that you're going to want to learn, or I think at least it helps, is knowing how to do a lapel spread. Basically, the lapel spread and the curly Q have similar sort of techniques, at least with the fingers, of springing the cards off the fingers. So learn this first. If you don't know this already, a quick overview is holding the deck in this position, just like that. These fingers are here almost as if you were going to bend up the cards, right? Bend it this way, bending the cards. And now you're going to let the cards go one at a time off the fingers, springing them basically. So you're springing the cards in this position with your other hand spreading the rest of the deck into the spread. And this is a nice way to have a card selected if you're into that sort of stuff. I don't particularly like to have somebody here, please pick a card, but if I do, sometimes I would just do that. Looks a little cooler. Now the curly Q has a similar sort of style. I learned it in my right hand. I don't know why. I tried to figure this out before filming this video of why I'm doing it in the right hand. I think the only reason I can think of is that when I learned it off of VHS tape, and it was reversed, right? So just sort of like this is. If I don't get a sort of behind the shoulder view, I would just reverse it. So I learned it with the right hand. I actually know a few moves that I learned reverse, but nonetheless, not the point of this video. Start off with the cards in your right or left hand. If you want to do it in the left hand, I think that might make more sense, so just mirror me. I'm going to start with the thumb across the deck like this, just as you would in a lapel spread. Have the thumb across the deck like this, and your other four fingers will be here. All right. You want to put a little bit of pressure so that you're bending up the cards just like that. Okay. So again, just like the lapel spread, you want to bend up. All right. It helps to do this with a sort of broken in deck, because if not, the cards are going to go all over the place. So here, and you're going to bend up. All right. Now what you're going to do is start releasing the cards. All right. And at the same time as you start releasing the cards off of this finger, off of all four fingers like this, you are going to put a little bit of pressure with the thumb. The thumb is always there to keep the cards from moving. All right. Now you'll notice something. because of the angle of the deck. And really get this, right? There's the angle of the deck. You don't want it too angled like if it were in a dealer's grip, right? You want it angled a little bit so that the right side, right top side of the deck goes into the thumb crotch area over here. And that angle is going to make it want to spin in a circle, all right? So you're here, you're bending up a little bit with the hands, and then you're starting one by one or a little bit at a time to have the cards come off the fingers of the right hand or the left hand. With the thumb in place, it's going to keep the top portion down and putting pressure on here, not too much pressure so that the cards don't come out. You're going to keep that first card in its place. That's going to keep that second card, because of the pressure, next to the first one, the third one next to the second one, and so on and so forth, and to create a nice double fan on top. Okay, so not like that. Now, because of the pressure of the thumb, this part, the lower left hand side, while I look at it, is going to be released first, and that is what's going to cause the circular motion of the deck as well. Here, here, and here. In the beginning, you're just going to get this, okay, and that's okay. After practicing a bit, you're going to be able to spring more and more cards out and get something maybe like this, okay? A lot of people do it, and it's sort of like a half circle type thing. And the more you practice with it, the more you're going to get it in a fan type, circular, half circular type of configuration. Now, one thing that's very important is that after you do this, and after it gets about halfway, your first finger is going to kick out to hold the cards in place at the end of it, because if not, there won't be anything to balance out the cards, okay? So your first finger is here. It's hard to do, obviously, in slow motion, but once it gets to this point, your first finger wants to be here so it could catch the cards and hold them just like that. Now, in the beginning, and a lot of people do this, they use their other hand as support for this, and you could do that as well, because the hardest thing is, besides getting the cards out and starting into that fan, is to get the cards out going into that fan without falling down. All right, so I just like to put my other hand here. So right now, if I didn't have my other hand, these would just fall off like that. All right, so that's what's good, to have that balance. Another tip is to do it sort of at speed. If you do it too slow, then you won't get the initial velocity to kick those cards out and start making that circle. So you want to do it sort of fast, right? So you want to come out here and do it. So a lot of the times that's how I would get it, all right? If I were doing it with one hand, I would be more open to try to get it out even more and do it faster if I had my other hand here, okay? So that's going to depend on how far you do it, how fast you do it, and how quick your first finger comes up to grab it, okay? But that is the basics of the curly Q move, just like that. All right, so one more time. You're here, you go into position. See, for me, I have to switch hands, which I don't like, but I guess that's how I learned it. I got to start learning it like this now. That's going to be hard. So you're here, you get into the position, you're ready to do the move, you squeeze down, thumb is here, fingers are here, start kicking out. It's going to start coming out from here. Go out, 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 and do it with enough speed from the beginning to get that initial kick. Kick your first finger out and put your other hand there for cover, or for balance rather. So that is it. That is, it's sort of a knacky move, so there's not really much else I can say besides just work on it. Work to get the cards to come out past that middle point, and I think you'll have a much better time learning this, as long as you keep that in mind. So there you have it, the curly Q. Question of the day for everybody is, what is your favorite flourish to perform? Not in the context of a routine, but just as a sort of little show-offy piece, something that'll make you stand out from the rest. Is it a spring, a fan, the curly Q? What is it? Leave it down in the comments below. That would be great. And if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification, share, do all the stuff you have to if you do enjoy my content. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next video. Peace.
Rebel soul child got a fist balled. I'm a respawn of ancestors, and I'm blessed, They are not him, tell him fess up. I get check stub, hella carefree, nothing scares me, hella reckless. Yeah, I got next up, right? No, we not the same, cause see when I look in your iris, you likely to talk but not ready to